بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أهلا وسهلا بكم أحبائي الكرام في هذا البرنامج الذي يرصد لنا مشاهد من الدعوة الإسلامية في بلاد العالم في هذا الكون الفسيح الذي أكرمنا الله عز وجل بالتعرف فيه على إخوة وأخوات لنا. نتعرف في هذا البرنامج على بعض ملامح الإسلام في شتى بقاع الأرض، التجارب التي جذبت الناس للإسلام، أخبارهم، نتعلم من ذلك، نتواصل معهم عن طريق ذلك، لعل ذلك يثير في قلوبنا معاني من معاني الإيمان ويزيد تبصرتنا بديننا. واليوم نتواصل معكم من هذه البقعة المباركة من الزاوية الجراحية الخلوتية لإخواننا في مكان في أقصى الأرض وهو مدينة بوينس آيرس عاصمة الأرجنتين. ومعي هنا إخوة من المسلمين الذين هداهم الله تبارك وتعالى لهذا الدين، وقد تعرفت على هؤلاء الإخوة منذ حوالي 2 سنين، ونحن الآن نقيم لهم دروس وأنشطة وبرامج دعوية بصفة مستمرة بفضل الله تعالى. فأقدم إلى الأرجنتين تقريبا كل 2 شهرين، وعندنا هنا عدد جيد نتعرف من خلالهم على تجربتهم وعلى قصة إسلامهم وعلى ما يقومون به من نشاط، وكيف أن الله تبارك وتعالى أذن ببعث هذا الدين في هذه البلاد البعيدة بعد أن كاد يفتر بعد قدوم المسلمين الذين قدموا منذ ما يزيد على 150 سنة لهذه البلاد. معي هنا الأخ سليمان والأخ جمال والأخ سفر والأخ صبري، وسأبدأ بسؤالهم عن قصتهم. Jemal, tell me who are you?
My name is Jemal. I was born and raised in Argentina, in Buenos Aires, in South America. I studied engineer and I embraced Islam 8 years ago through the Tariqa Jarrahi Khalbeti.
So you have known Islam through Sufism?
Yes.
And what religion did you practice before?
Before I was a Christian Orthodox.
And I reckon that your father originally hailed from Armenia.
Yes, he was from Lebanese background, but he was Armenian.
By descent?
Yes, by descent he was
and he settled in Argentina how long ago?
He settled in Argentina about 60 years ago. When he was 18 years old, he came to Argentina to establish and start a new business, a new life here.
And he practiced Orthodox Christianity?
Yes, he used to practice Christianity, Orthodox Christianity, and we used to do it also.
I recall that you told me that you used to follow a spiritual path.
Yes, he was definitely a searcher. He was a teacher, and he was very sincere in his practice.
And what was the name of that path?
The name of the path is known as Fourth Path. It involves things of Christianity, things of maybe some of Sufism, of different traditions, but he was mainly Christian and he was a Christian practitioner.
So Sabri will tell me about Mehran, Jamal's father, rahmatullah alayh, Jamal's father, who I believe was a monotheist. Definitely. In essence, he was a monotheist, and he actually reminds us of Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufayl, an early monotheist before the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sabri was a student of Mehran, and he accepted Islam following the 2 children of Mehran, Jamal and Safar. So Sabri, tell me about Mehran.
Well,
as a murid of him.
The first time I ever heard the words Allahu Akbar were through him in 1992. He taught me that and also Salam Alaikum. And I didn't make much of it, but I was always...
And you were all Christians at that time?
Yes, but he taught me that in his country people greeted each other that way.
Yes.
Peace be with you, and we do the peace. And that was pretty, I always remember that. And then he taught me about the Allahu Akbar, And I used to remember those words all along until I came to Islam almost 17 years after that. And so definitely the path came through him, but through
So what practices
his
did
children.
what practices did you do before Islam?
We didn't really have a practice.
So what
It
is
was
the
very
practice of no
vague.
practice?
It was a very vague thing where we all had freedom to do whatever we wanted, basically.
So what was unifying you?
The hardest thing to do was basically to fast, where fast was supposed to be nothing except water. You could drink water
For how long?
for as many days as you could bear. So sometimes you felt very cavalier and you went and did a week of total fasting, and then other times you just did like 1 day or 2 days. And then in the time when Islam came to me, alhamdulillah, in 2009, I was actually finishing a fast for that time St. Michael and St. George.
Okay.
And then that's when my friends informed me about Islam.
So there was a tragic death of Mehran, as far as I know, from his son Safar. So Safar, tell me, how did your father die, and what did he say to you? You mentioned once that he read in the news about Sheikh Muhyiddin ibn Arabi, and he raised some interest.
Yes, he read about before that. I must say we were all together viewing it in a TV program, the movie about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
The message.
Yes, and I asked to my father if the Prophet is a real prophet. He said, of course, he's a prophet, and if he didn't come to the Arabs, they will be like animals.
So let me stop you here. What made you watch the message, even though you were Orthodox Christians? Is it because it is famous?
Maybe, I don't know. It was time.
What brought the message in the middle of your path?
I don't know. It was not.
So it was it was a video cassette.
It was a video cassette brought by my father, I think, or something like that. Yes.
So tell me.
Yes. I asked this, and after that, of course, he said that. After that, regarding your question, he read in a newspaper about the philosophy of the Sheikh Al-Akbar, and he said to both of us, please try to find out about this, about the books of this man. I want to read it.
But he died before he reads about Sheikh Al-Akbar.
Yes, of course.
And you told me once that your father said that this path that we're following will not deliver us completely, but after my death there will be something. I recall you mentioned that.
Yes, he said that. Yes.
So what did he say exactly?
Maybe my brother knows better.
Okay, Jemal will tell us.
Yes, once he told us, he told me particularly after this, because we are in a group, this we have meetings and everything.
So how many murids did your father have, or how many?
This was a big group and has an old teacher that maybe totally there were between 30 and 40 people, but my father particularly had like 4 or 3 murids in this group.
Okay. One of them is Sabri.
Yes, one of them is Sabri, and the other one is
Abdul
Wadud, that is not here, that he also embraced Islam.
Yes.
So he told me, after my leaving from this world, this group will not be anymore. So it will be something new, something that will be completely different. And the rules and the rulings of this new group will be different, and some of you will be selected to be part of this new group. Some of you will be able to be part of it, and some will not. The most sincere ones will be accepted. That's what he told us, and I mean in that moment, maybe for me it wasn't nothing so significant, but when you see the events happening,
Don't you think that your father was by all of this? All of these were indications that he's a monotheist, definitely.
definitely he was always remarking the monotheistic aspect of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He always said, the only one creator, the only powerful. He never teach us our relation with Isa alayhi salam as being God or nothing like that. He always told us that is the model to follow, but he never talked about Isa as God.
Your father died in Uruguay,
Yes,
and then after his death, something happened.
Yes, after let's say about 2 or 3 months after that, or maybe 4, I had a dream, and I saw
Of your father?
Yes, in an instance, yes, I dreamed that I was in a place that it was very like the heaven, everything it was white, and I was in front of 2 small boys dressing in white, and I said to them how many names had God, and they went to search the answer of this, and they said they come back and said to me 7. And after that I asked which is the greatest name of God, and they did exactly the same, and they come back and reply to me that is a big secret. And after that I saw my...
If I stop you here,
Yes.
Safar, when you accepted Islam later on, and you got to know Islam through the Khalwati path,
Yes.
Part and parcel of the dhikr of the Khalwati path is the 13 names, the essential 7 names, and then the completing 6 names. Am I right?
Yes.
So this is quite interesting, and at the same time quite significant, because that gives us a perspective into this metaphysical world that a lot of people living in the material world today they don't accept and they don't believe in. You were not a Muslim, you had no interaction with Islam at that time, and you see a dream out of the blue of someone who himself was not outwardly a Muslim, and then in the dream you're told about 7 names, and then after some time you end up becoming a Muslim, Jarrahi, and then your path is through the 7 names.
Yes, that's it. And
You saw your father in that dream.
after they answered my questions, I saw my father, and he opened
A book.
a big book with the date that it was the Islamic year, but I don't remember exactly the year, but it was about 1420 something or something like that, and I saw a draw inside of a lot of angels, and he was smiling to me, and that was the end of the dream.
So what did you do after that?
After that, I
Started looking in the internet.
Not exactly. And before that, I went to do my holidays in Uruguay. I went to a library, and I take a book, the speech of the birds of
منطق الطير.
Mantic Tyrus of Sheikh Fahruddin Attar, and I saw a lot of history that my family used to tell me. So I said to me, this is the way. So and after that I searched, I do some search in internet and
About Islam in Argentina.
about not Islam, about Sufism
In Argentina.
In Argentina, yes,
And you
I
came
see
across.
different ways, and I come here, yes.
So you ended up coming to this Zawiya,
Yes.
and if Ahmed can just turn the camera to show us parts of the Zawiya. So you came to this place in the center of Buenos Aires, and you ended up meeting Sulaiman. So Sulaiman now comes to the scene. So Sidi Sulaiman al-Jarrahi, who is,
I remember very well when the Safer came.
yes, tell me.
No, we are, first of all, I have to say,
So who is Sulaiman, first of all? I know that you have,
Argentina.
you're always proud of your Scottish and Lebanese ancestry, but now being in video,
Jarrahis.
and so I want to know who is Sulaiman.
Sulaiman is an Argentinian, 45 years old, practicing. We
That's not a marriage advertisement, by the way. Yes.
so I remember practicing some meditations before knowing Sufis.
Yes.
I know like Safer and Jemal and Sabri.
So when you met Safar, what happened? You came to Islam yourself through Sufism.
Yes.
You were Naqshbandi?
Before knowing the Tariqa Jarrahiyya, yes.
Yes, and then you
In
became
the middle, we know one sheikh from Jarrahi Tariqa, and I remember maybe 1982, 83, a few years in that derga,
Okay.
but without connection with the sheikh.
Okay. Now you met Safar in the Zawiya. He came to the Zawiya by yourself. You found a place
Yes.
and you came knocking the door.
Yes, of course, like that.
Of course, you can't come in without knocking the door. So you came and Sulaiman was here.
I was here, you know, our sheikh Orhan Baba is our sheikh, and we were serving him to take care of this place. And then Sefer came, and through the years he helped us a lot to start searching more knowledge.
But tell me, in the first day when you met Safar, what was the first thing that you noticed about him, besides being handsome?
I remember one brother that is not here, that he used to tell me that I sit him in front of him, I start talking to him.
Okay.
So
So
that
you started
you-
talking to him.
To him,
Okay.
nothing else. So and he started attending, and a few, I
The
remember.
dhikr, was the dhikr always on Thursdays?
Yes, always us.
And was he regular?
Attending from the first day, he attends usually. And a few, I think 1 or 2 years later, we traveled Istanbul
Okay.
with our sheikh, and that was, well, the first.
That brought you even closer.
Yeah, definitely.
Now Safar has become a Muslim and he knows Sulaiman. What has brought Jamal into the scene?
I remember clearly when my beloved brother started his search and he told me about that. I was still attached to the old practices that we had with my father, and after a time he told me, I met this path. I think that is the true path. It's the true, and
That's Safar telling you.
Sefer telling me that. And he started to, I said, okay, first of I stopped attending to the other place, but I continue with that earning to get close to God. So he started to guiding me, first of all giving me some books about our path, about Islam, about the Tariqa. And it was clear for me when I read these books that this was a truth. I mean, when you have some clear mind and some spiritual background, you can recognize the truth in it. But you know, I was questioning some things. I didn't accept some rulings from Islam, for example, because I wasn't used to it. So after a time, for example, I take the practice of making La ilaha illallah without asking anybody, but I didn't came to the derga, I didn't came to the zawiya, but I started reading books and I started to seeing my father in dreams. And
We will come to the dreams in a minute. Sabri, I know that you have seen Mehran in a dream. Yeah, in a dream after his death,
Yes, several times.
and that has shaken you and has brought you closer to Islam.
Yes, definitely. I also forgot to mention that in 1992, when he taught me the words Allahu Akbar, we watched The Message as well, the movie about.
So that's a
Prophet
different
Sallallahu
a
Alaihi
different
Wasallam.
time.
I think some of them were with us. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was
and-
with you.
Yes.
I was with you.
So was that the instance?
Yes, that was one instance.
The dreams, they were all incredible. He's always younger. Every time I see him, he's younger somehow. More thin.
Yes.
He used to be
Chubby?
very but just very
Strong.
like, big, and now every time I see him in the dream, he's younger and more radiant and thinner, kind of just younger, more vital, and nothing. I mean, every time I see him, he's obviously a cause for celebration.
So tell me one dream that was really striking for you.
One time, when I was living in the United States, I split my time, 20 years half my life I lived in the United States.
Yeah.
And when Islam came to me, it was in the United States.
Yes.
And through them, Safer and Sulaiman talking about me, just by chance.
Yes. Yes. I will come to that story.
In the dream, Mihran Effendi, Rahmatullah alayhi, came to me and said, "We made it. We arrived. Alhamdulillah." And it was just like everybody.
He said Alhamdulillah
Just, you could hear Alhamdulillah. It was like lots of voices.
in the dream.
Yes,
He said we made it.
we made it. We arrived. And everybody started, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. And it was just like complete joy, and I just lost myself and eventually woke up.
And that was
when I
when
was
you
in the
were not a
United
Muslim?
States. No, that was already a Muslim.
Okay. That was after you became Muslim.
2011, I think.
Can you tell me something that you have seen before you becoming a Muslim?
Before becoming a Muslim, before the time, well, actually, the night that he passed, actually, I felt that I dreamt very clearly, with the clarity that I can see now, that somebody was about to kill me with a gun. It felt like I was about to die for real. I felt like death was coming. And I started to, his presence started to pull me like an iman. And I was tremendously shocked when I learned that iman means faith. Because in Spanish, iman means a magnet, something that attracts things to it.
Iman.
Iman
Okay.
means something that attracts itself to it. And that's what pulled me out from death on that dream. That magnet, some magnet came to me.
And that magnet was in a human form, or what was
No,
it?
it was a feeling. And
Okay,
I woke
that's-
up, and the next day I was reading the internet, and I saw that their
Their
father,
father.
Rahmatullah alayhi, was in this situation in Uruguay where he might have died, or it wasn't clear. And I was like completely shocked. I couldn't understand. Things were turning. And so I called them. They told me, yes, that happened.
انتظرونا نعود إليكم بعد الفاصل.